Hey, this is your host, Jasmine Haley of the Beyond the Prophy podcast. And this week's special guest is Duffy, who is the founder of DeW magazine. She's a practicing dental hygienist. She's taken 6 state boards, built one of the largest teams in direct selling dental company. She has published for Dental Entrepreneur, Business Beyond the Classroom, going to all the dental schools in this country since 1998. And in July 2016, she launched her new publication, which is the DeW magazine, Dental Entrepreneur Woman. It's fabulous as she is, and it's for us and by us. She is really the spearhead, the genius, the brilliant woman behind this movement that's bigger than any of us. The 4 pillars of this is highlight, inspire, empower, and connect. And it's time to raise all women in dentistry. I cannot say enough. Thank you for being a part of the show.
Oh, thank you for having me. I have admired you for so long. I'm so happy that we finally got to meet in person, and I am thrilled to be here. Thanks.
Me too. I'm over the moon. I'm over the moon, particularly because just like from the very first time I spoke with you, your energy is contagious. And how long did we talk on the phone before we met each other for the first time, just within the last few weeks or so? And everyone says the same thing. Everything that I've heard as far as your energy and how genuine you are, it's really a blessing to have you a part of our industry. And I'm just getting in the industry. You've been here. You've been there and done that, right?
Yeah, been there and done that. Still in it.
Yeah. So I really just want to dive into why you've created DeW and why women specifically need the support in our industry.
Well, I think it goes back to my experience, Jasmine, in the dental industry. I was a hygienist, in my bio, 6 state boards, because I married my college sweetheart, and we started moving around the country. And we every time Tom would get a promotion, we would move, and I love that, but I always had to take a state board. So I worked in a lot of different offices with a lot of different dentists, all male dentists. It's kind of funny, all male dentists when I think back on it, but just different teams. And I never thought of anything outside of the operatory until we hit Charlotte, North Carolina, and 3 kids in tow, didn't want to move the kids again. Tom came home and said, I'm going to quit my job and start my own business. And I'm thinking, that's fabulous, because we'll be millionaires right away, and I can continue to play tennis and have lunch and all that. And then, about probably a year in, I realized, oh my God, we are sucking wind here, and I've got to find a way to make some money. And I had looked around before I took the state board in North Carolina. It was 2-day test at Chapel Hill, which is 2.5 hours away. Had to get my own patient, instruments, all that. And I took the board, but before that I decided to look around. Maybe I could do something else with my skill set. And I found out I could do nothing that could pay me the amount of money that I could make in dentistry, and also in a professional setting. And and I loved dental hygiene. So I took the board, but I was also interested in a product line that was a direct selling company was offering, and that is it's like a Rodan and Fields or Mary Kay. You build a team of leaders. And that got me started. I had one of the biggest team of female leaders in the company, and learned so much about personal development, leadership, presentation, communication, all of those things. Opened up my whole world about vision and, oh my gosh, work with who you want to work with, work in your own time. So a little bit of entrepreneurship along the way. And so that was a piece. I met a gentleman that was starting a new magazine, Dental Entrepreneur, and going up against dental economics. That was like David and Goliath, but I thought, oh, this is cool. I wanted his connection, honestly, to build more of my team. And what turned out to be, he brought me on board to sell advertising. I had no sales skills or background other than married to my husband, who is, in sales and marketing and business. And so I started that with him. He didn't want to do it anymore. Decided to handed over to me, or I bought it from him 3 years in. He was an editor and had no passion for dentistry. And I really had grown to have this passion for the young dentist on the business side of dentistry. And I've seen it over and over again, how, if you don't have a good business sense or a good business model, you can't really practice the kind of dentistry that you want to practice. So I was passionate about that. And then I dealt with authors getting content. I dealt with marketers in the big companies as advertisers. And then I would go to the meetings. And what I started to see this discrepancy between men and women, their pay level, their significance. I see that women were overtaking men in the graduating class of dentists. So now it's 52% of female graduates. And then you think that their whole team are female, right? Pretty much. And, a Thursday afternoon, I still remember it so clearly, a dear friend of mine in one of the bigger companies was being bullied. And I was just outraged. And I just hung the phone up and said, I'm going to start a magazine for women to highlight women in dentistry, to bring us all together. So it just started as like, in that moment, and I called the attorney the next day. I didn't really give any thought to like, gee, I wonder if this will work or it's a good idea. I really felt called to do that. And that's how I conceived this baby. And it took me 9 months to get the first print issue out. So I conceived, it was way bigger. And Do Life, Dental Entrepreneur Woman, is way bigger than me or anybody. It is just, before the Me Too movement. And it's like, it's morphed into inspire, highlight, empower, and connect. And I am loving it. I'm loving meeting you. I would never have met you, if it hadn't been for this. So many blessings have come from it. And I hope we can continue to grow, our society.
I firmly believe that it's time for this type of movement to happen, because my first time that I read your magazine, I remember putting my hand on my chest like, because I read a story from Cristobal. I'll never forget. I've never met her in person, but I was so touched by how authentic she was and sharing about her love of her life, her husband who passed. And I mean, just some of the complexities of handling ourselves as women, as a mother, as a wife, and as a professional. I mean, I had never, ever picked up anything ever like that in my career. And I was like, these are my people.
Yeah.
So I think it's fascinating that you thought about that and you didn't even question yourself. You didn't even give time for the self-sabotage or the doubt or the fear to set in. And so kudos to you and for doing that, because
yeah.
I'm sure there's days like, listen, with anyone, whenever we're trying to pursue our goals, we all question. We're like, is this the right thing for me to do? Like, can I deal with it another day or two? Like, it's always going to be that roller coaster.
Yeah. That's entrepreneurship. That is entrepreneurship.
Amen to that.
But all women are entrepreneurs, Jasmine. I mean, we're all spinning. My definition of an entrepreneur is someone spinning a lot of plates and keeping them all up in the air. And I really feel all women, whether they're in their own business, they all have side gigs. And, so I think that is a common thread with women.
Love that you said that. I love that you said that. So tell me, like, what would you say is the biggest challenge for women that you've seen and you have encountered just in general? What's the biggest challenge that they have to overcome?
Well, you kind of just pegged it as self-sabotage, I think. I think, and everybody's different, but I see a common thread of trying to be everything to everybody and being all things to everyone, right? So, are we ever enough? And I do think we second guess ourselves a lot. I think every age bracket is different. My age bracket is I did not realize that I would be working and earning a living. So so that is in my kind of age bracket. And I love young women now because they are going to school, they are dedicated to their careers, and they see the value of that. And they see the value of having that balance, if you will. Mm-hmm. So I think that all women are craving balance, right? Mm-hmm. And so, when you talk about what men do and what women do, we're different. And I embrace that. I mean, men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Mm-hmm. That's a fact. Not going to change. We're still going to probably give the grocery list or let somebody know when to pick the kids up. They're happy to accommodate. I think good men, and both you and I have fabulous husbands. Yeah. I've got two, men, sons, and a daughter. But so I adore men, and I adore the differences between men and women. And so I think to answer your question, I do believe we have self-doubt. Are we doing the right thing, especially by working, not maybe staying home with the kids? Are the kids suffering? Are we doing enough? And I think it holds us back. And I also think the perception is still hanging out there. So the promotions and can a woman do this job and still take care of their family? That's still there. Mm-hmm. So I do think if you look at the big corporations, for instance, and the floor of an exhibitor floor, and you see 30 men in suits, and you say maybe 2 or 3 women on the floor, that's still very telling. And that hasn't changed a lot. And we need to change it because, again, more female dentists. Females have an intuitive nature of what other females want or need. So, I think that, we're shifting that, and dentistry is a great profession to do that in.
I find that very interesting because, when, we go about when we're working that exhibit floor and we're just like, moseying around and stuff like that, taking a look at things. And I never even thought to think how many women are behind there. Now, for me, because I'm a person of color, I'm looking at what's the diversity that's there, right? Mm-hmm. But even then, like you said, there are so little women. And so we've got a long way to go.
Oh, we have a long way to go. We were just at Chicago Midwinter, and a friend of mine was going to one of the booths, and they just assumed they were not interested in buying any equipment, that they didn't give them the clout that they had to buy the equipment. And the DeW that I was with, they came back to our booth. She was just like, that is unbelievable. Like, I'm here to buy equipment, and they're not giving me the time of day. And I tell you, whenever I go to meetings with my husband, Tom, it's always, he's Dr. Duffy, and they have no idea who I am. So it's just hysterical to me that we're still having to grab the attention of the industry, that we're here to stay. We've got power. We are amazing. We can do so many things. And, just getting on the phone with all these women, at least 250 women I've been on the phone with, like you, sometimes numerous times. They are amazing, and what they want to do from a caregiving standpoint. It's such a wonderful profession for a woman. I mean, just, our intuitive nature of caring for people, wanting to collaborate, wanting to connect, mm-hmm. having a relationship. I mean, these are all things that are very, very intuitive, I think, to us. And
yes.
It's perfect that we're in it to take it over. And not really. I'm teasing about that, but
who run the world?
It's time that we get equal pay, equal promotions, mm-hmm. and equal significance, I guess, is kind of what we're looking for. And we can do that together by connecting everyone. And I like connecting dentists with salespeople. I like connecting assistants with hygienists, and I mean all the different categories of women, because we're, I said that in my promo, women first. women first. We're women first, and we happen to choose dentistry as a profession. So how do we make this a fabulous profession for women to stay in it, right? And that was my other, I mean, I've been in it. I don't mind. I've been practicing. I still practice a half a day a week. I graduated from Ohio State in '74, right, from dental hygiene. And I practiced my whole life, and I still love dentistry. And so now this is kind of like, I guess, my giving back. And you and I have talked about, like, I don't know, we can use our personal funds to finance these things because it's giving back. But is that a good model for a business, for a dental entrepreneur woman? No, we have to walk that walk. So you and I, we have lots more to talk about going forward.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be great if, we have so many Chris Duvall's, like Chris is still very active in dentistry. She's amazing. Mm-hmm. Linda Miles. I mean, these women have walked before us. And so they're helping us. I mean, they're so generous. So then we help, I want to help the ones in the middle, raise their professions up, raise their love for the career, no scarcity mentality. And then the young women that are smart, we want them to choose dentistry, right? We want to have powerful women that are already empowered, that become more empowered to lead our profession.
Yeah.
And it's got to change a little bit for us for you and I, maybe I'm speaking, I don't mean to speak for you, but I have some issues recommending to a young woman to get in dentistry full force with the way it is right now. Being a hygienist all these years in private practice, I've never gotten a raise and I didn't have to beg for a raise. I'm a darn good hygienist and brought a lot to every practice I've ever been. I love what I'm doing. That's got to change. I mean, these are little teeny things that, I'm just going to try to slide into DEW and hoping that, and I always slide in dental entrepreneur. I mean, I try to, mold the young dentists coming out, team leadership and taking care of your team and all of those things. There's just so much oh gosh. How much time do we have, dear? We could go on. I'm probably not even answering your question. I get on a tangent, but
no, I love it. Keep it going. Yeah, I totally understand. And when I recommend this profession for anyone, because I love dentistry, I've wanted to be in dentistry since middle school. So I went to a vocational high school and did a dental assisting program. I knew that this was the route I was going to take, but I have to be honest, like, this is the reality of where you are. Now, I preach a lot about conquering your goals, moving past some of the challenges that we have. Mm-hmm. But yes, there are still some roadblocks that no matter how much you will it, it's like you're going to need some major catastrophic change to the entire structure of how our industry is shaped. And that's the reality that some of us have to consider when we are choosing this as our profession. But go ahead.
Well, and I think it's got to start with the leaders that are already in place. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm really hoping that, well, I would say if you feel like you're a dental entrepreneur woman and you're reaching out to us, I feel like you're a leader because you're looking for more. You're looking for a broader career, right? Mm-hmm. But the leaders, the female dentist and the female corporate leaders in the companies, they have to continue to fuel the people that they bring into their team, bring into their business, and to give them the personal development opportunities that I think are sometimes lacking in our industry because we're always so focused on clinical. And you and I both know that it's so much about relationships and leadership and integrity, and things that, a lot of times aren't necessarily being offered. There's so much out there that we can bring into the profession to help us to broaden the way we see our profession and the way we bring people in and promote our profession, right? That's really, I think, a little bit of a missing, and I'm hoping that's going to change. I really am, because I think that's kind of at the core of dentistry.
It's actually a really great segue, because that was going to be my next question involving personal development. It is rare that you find it discussed, because we have it set up by our governing bodies of dentistry, where only certain courses are seen as necessary. So clinical based, right?
Yeah.
But as we've known historically in the past, suicide rates were high for dentists. We have so many dental and hygienists, dentists, dental assistants who are burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because fundamentally we have people walking around that are empty shells. They're empty shells. And I thought it was so brave of you to include that personal development in your magazine.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so,
that's made my whole career.
yeah.
I mean, I'm so thankful for that. I just did a roundtable discussion with Central Piedmont's Dental Hygiene and Assisting program about 2-3 weeks ago. And I told them, I said, listen, find that personal development education wherever you can find it. I mean, join Toastmasters, join a networking company, just to get that experience, because that has molded me to love my life and look for ways that actually build on my strengths. Because I think if you're only in the operatory and you see there's, and there's nowhere to go, there's no hope for a better future, then it's like a gorilla in a cage, and you just, you're walking from one side of the operatory to the other, back and forth, and your head's down, and your shoulders are slumped, and you've been in it for, I mean, can you imagine if I was still just in my operatory for 44 years, I would be burnt out, to say the least. And it just would, I would have missed so much richness to this career, because some of the things that you learn from other people that, are giving you, again, I go back to personal development, they open your eyes up to the possibilities of what you bring to the party. And it's not just these hands, these are good. There's so much more, right?
Right. I love it. I love it. I mean, you are just making my heart swell right now, because it's so true. And just a few years ago, now, I wanted to leave this profession, and it was because I forgot that fundamental piece. And I love the fact that you really stress that. And it's interesting, because I feel like now it seems like there's more people speaking about it, which is good.
Yep.
But there's still a curve that needs to happen with the clinicians that are out there to understand how important it is. Because I've heard the sayings of, I don't have time for that. I don't have time to do anything that's more mindful. I don't have time to take a break. There's just not enough time for that. And I'm like, well, do you have time to be depressed and just irritable and nasty and just miserable? I mean, so it's really that choice for some people, even with how they're feeling, is difficult for them to make. And I don't know if you found that to be the same. And like, what will really make that person to make that change? Sometimes it requires something large. For me, it was the death of my mother that made me think, like, wait, I can't live like this anymore. I can't do this anymore. This is not what life is about.
Well, I didn't join the company that brought me to this personal development until I was 42. I'm thinking, man, that's pretty late in life. I think I liked the profession more because I moved around a lot. And so that was, goodbye, everybody. I'm moving. I have to go to another place. And that was kind of fun. I got a little break. But we should be talking about this in dental hygiene school, in dental school, in initiation of the companies. I think companies are probably trying to do a little bit better job. But that also is fearful to, I've seen this so often and so much in the company I was in, because the dentist would see that the team was feeling good about themselves all of a sudden. Oh my God, they might leave me. So instead of championing their success and championing, I can never say that, them to do great things, outside of the operatory, and saying that that's going to make a better employee, that's going to make a better team member, that's going to open their eyes up. I mean, again, I didn't even know you could have a vision of like, oh, I could do anything I wanted to do. Or maybe I should dream a little bigger. Never occurred to me. Never occurred to me. And so again, let's start that conversation earlier. And it should be on, again, because we're such a relationship business, that should be CE Alley. When you think about it, I really believe that you can incorporate that in every business company, keynote. That's what it's really all about, is opening up possibilities that people have never even known about.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what I stand for. That's what I speak about. It's hard because a lot of times the courses that I give aren't always approved by the state board, but it will help shape someone's life to the point where the more fulfilled you are, the better the work we're able to give to our patients, which ultimately affects the communities that we serve. It's not just about the technical skills of providing it. It's that holistic approach. And so one of the things that we're doing for our event coming up in June is really talking about self-care for the educator, because it starts with the foundation.
Yes.
The foundation is, like you just said, the educational curriculum that our students are getting before they head out into the real world.
I think you'd have happier students, happier dentists again. And I love what you're doing, Jasmine.
Thank you.
As I did call you the woman whisperer, and I wasn't kidding. you have a way, you have a very good sense of listening, which is a gift, and cutting through everything. So you are perfectly positioned to head this movement up. Your movement is just, we so align with each other. And again, what I do, you can't do, and what you do, I can't do. You're so special. And everybody has something special to offer. And I love that you're digging in and having them see that in themselves. Mm-hmm. And that's priceless. Yeah. Because I think when you start with them, they don't necessarily see all their talents, right? And you can bring that out in them and help them find ways to build on those.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, and you got a special place in my heart. I'm serious. Like, I wouldn't say that.
Oh.
All right, so I've got to ask you one more question, because we tend to keep these episodes short. We know that our attention spans aren't always the best.
Yes.
So this is my final question to you. What was the best personal or career advice you've ever received?
Okay, the best advice, and I've recently gotten this is just a couple of years ago, actually. Find out what your strengths are. Find out what they are. And I'm a big proponent of Gallup Strengths 2.0.
Yes.
And then get coached on those. Get coached. You can find them, but you need coaching. Mm-hmm. You need somebody to see those in you. And then open your eyes up for the opportunities that are going to be easy to say yes, and then put your whole heart and soul in it, and start and don't stop. That's the things. You got to start when it feels right, start and don't stop. So I think that's about that. That would probably align with everything I feel in my heart and my soul.
Yes, I love it. Woo! All right. Woo! So I know that you're always looking for writers. Please tell them like how to contact you, what they should do if they're interested in writing for your magazine or on the website. Spill it all out.
Well, yes, we are always looking for everyone's story, because everybody has a story. And it's always special. So if you'll reach out to me, it's DEW for Dental Entrepreneur Woman, DEW.life, LIFE, not .com, do.life. Check out our website. We'd love you to join our movement. Sign up for our free newsletter. join us. Let's all do this together. And then it's really what we can do for you. I mean, what we can do we want to connect you with amazing women. We want to inspire you. We want to empower all of you. And we want to highlight you all in our pages and on our website and on our Facebook page and whatever. And we're going to do, we'll do a retreat coming up, and Jasmine and I are going to talk about that. And, please, just anything I can do for you to connect you and to help you love our profession, that will help all the people we're serving and all those smiles that we're going to help, and the health and of people in general.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much, Anne, for being on the show. I can't thank you enough.
Jasmine, I can't thank you enough for everything you're doing for all of us. And everyone's so lucky that meets you and joins you in what your vision is. So thank you.
Thank you.